Right, folks, we're back here with Mr. David Young from Sony to talk about Archive, Optical Storage Archive. Now, we had someone on earlier on talking about LTO. This is, I guess, your solution for long-term archiving, isn't it?
That's right.
This
so
thing
we
here.
have a new technology called Optical Disk Archive. That's really here is a cartridge full of 12 optical disks, like our XD-CAM disks in there. And really there's some benefits which, whether you're archiving on hard drives or LTO tape, it's got some benefits over that. So for instance, let's start with the tape side. I mean, that is a good medium, people do use it. Sony actually makes LTO tape, so we got a feel in there. But one thing about it is that it is a physical media. Like when you actually try to read it off it and write on it, it's a tape. You've got to pull the tape hard, you've got to put the read head, write head through it, and every time you use it, you're wearing it away. Being optical, it is contactless, so you don't actually physically wear it away every time you try to retrieve it. Also, if you want some, just pull off, say, a 20-second sub-clip of a big clip. Often with tape, you've got to sort of go through the whole tape, pull off the entire clip. Sometimes they're tarred up, you've got to empty the entire tape into the hard drive and then clip it. But with this, you've got random access. Just go straight into the file you want, pull off that sub-clip straight away.
And so this is going to allow you to read, write much, much quicker.
Well, it's actually at the moment we're at the same sort of speeds as LTO, but we've got Generation 2 coming out next year, and that's a lot faster than LTO today, so yeah. So
what kind of applications would you be encouraging customers to consider this technology, let's say over LTO?
So for people who are, well, let's take a couple of scenarios. There's the people who might be out in the field somewhere and they've got to get all their content back to base. So at the moment people might be using like hard drives or perhaps LTO. Now LTO is a little bit more trickier in the field with laptops and what have you. We got drives that are just USB 3, you plug it in your laptop and you're away. Works with Mac, PC, even Linux it'll work with. So then you've got reliable media going to transport it back. It also does write verification on it, so you know once it's on there, it's safe. In order to change the data in that, actually the laser makes it go 600 degrees Celsius. So as long as this stays below 600 degrees Celsius, you're absolutely fine.
Right. And of course the other thing is just the longevity. So they say that LTO tape is guaranteed for 30 years, but this goes to beyond that?
This is at least 100 years there. So Sony has worked with the International Standards Organization to do accelerated age testing on there. And what you do, you just basically run it at different temperatures and see what happens to the media. Now we're really confident it will last at least 50 years. And when I say that, that's 50 years at 85% humidity, and at room temperature, we know it lasts a lot longer. In fact, even at 42 degrees Celsius, at 85% humidity, we know that will last 50 years. So we're very confident this is a strong media.
And so, presumably you need, is there a specific device for reading and writing the drives? Is it like a tape deck? How does it work? Well,
it has a reader, sort of like a tape deck effectively. We've got one called a D77U. It's basically a USB 3 device that plugs in the computer. Very simple. When you put this cartridge in, it just looks like an external volume, external hard drive. It gives it a letter, and you can drag and drop your content in it. And because it looks like an external storage device, other software tools, whatever your favorite specialist tools are, just work straight away with that, yeah.
So anything else we need to know about this technology? You know, can you use it, is it literally plug and play? You can integrate it to an existing system?
You've got integrated with an existing system. If you want larger systems, we've got robotics as well. So we've got a 10 cartridge library, sort of almost like an autoloader. And then we've got other systems where you could scale it from say 30 cartridges all the way up to, I think it's 530 odd cartridges, storing well over a petabyte. So that is interesting for people. The reason why people are also interested in it is that LTO, as you know, has different versions of the technology. So you've got LTO, currently we're on LTO 6, and 7 is going to come out soon. But what some people don't realize is that an LTO 6 drive today, it can read LTO 4, LTO 5, but not LTO 1, 2, and 3. So if you want to access that content, you have to spend all that time and money and effort moving all that content to the latest version of LTO. And of course the next version is going to come along and come along and come along. So every few years you're going to have to move that content again and again and again. But with optical here, you don't have that problem. The reason for it is that if you imagine like you had a CD, and you can actually still read that CD in the latest Blu-ray player. Now, there's the same physical size discs, a Blu-ray and a CD, but there's a lot more data on a Blu-ray, so those ones and zeros are a lot smaller than the CD. Now you take that Blu-ray laser, give it a CD, the CD's data looks sort of fat, effectively, and is quite trivial for the modern lasers to read it. The reason I mention this, is quite important, is that if you write the data on this cartridge today, even though laser technology will improve in 10, 20, 30 years from now, that's going to still be able to read it in the same way a Blu-ray player can read a CD. So that saves you all the migration costs that you currently got with LTO.
Very interesting, David. Well, listen, if you've got time, there's about 45 minutes left of the show, and you want to learn more about this optical disc archive, then go and grab David on the stand and bend his ear before he packs up and goes and sees his baby.